Next on the list is Gosu. You're goblins, and you have different factions of goblins. Actually pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah, actually, what Gosu feels like is that they took a collectible card game. It feels very similar to that kind of play, and they stuck it into one deck that both players are drawing from, and you're drawing cards that of different factions of goblins fighting one another. And I don't know that I played any game like this.
I haven't either.
But it certainly made me feel like I was playing some kind of collectible card game, or actually the closest thing that I think of when I think of this one is Nature of the Beast. It had some similarities to that, but it's a lot of fun, although with more players it can get chaotic.
Very cool.
Gosu stands for Goblin Supremacy, and in it you are building an army of goblins to fight your opponent. The goblins, you'll start with one goblin on your turn. You'll be playing cards from your hand, and you'll start playing one goblin here, while level 1 goblin. Goblins are level 1, level 2, and level 3. I cannot play a level 2 goblin, though, unless I have the same goblin type underneath. There's 5 different goblin types. For example, this is a mecha goblin, and until I get a mecha goblin in the first row, I cannot play one in the second row. Also, when you play, your first goblin that you play is free. After that, when you play one in the first row, you have to discard a card for each other different one that you have down there. But that's worth it to do initially, and then you can get these other ones out for free. To play a level 3, I need a level 1 and a level 2 goblin of that same type out on the board. And so I can put this one out here because I have a level 2 and a level 1 mecha. And so I can have up to 5 rows worth of the different kinds of goblins. But, for example, now that I have 5 across here, I can't put out this living goblin or this green goblin because I don't have any level 1s. So what's the point here? When you put out these goblins, usually as soon as you put one out, it does something. It will let you kill a goblin of the opponent's row, lets you draw more cards, it lets you trap another card on your opponent's side, which basically turns their card over. And it stays that way until they can untrap it. Some of the cards have an ability on them that require you to use a token. Each player starts with 2 of these tokens. If you don't want to use these tokens for special abilities, you can also use these tokens to draw more cards, which you will need some of. When both players finally pass, or I guess all players, because you can play with more than 2, when all the players finally pass, you're going to have a battle. And in a battle, you're going to get points or military power for each goblin that you have in the game. The level 3 goblins are the most powerful. They're worth 5 points. The level 2, the ones down here, are worth 3 points, and the ones at the bottom are worth 2 points. So if you have all of them, you have your maximum power, but whoever wins that battle, whoever has the most power, gets a token, and the first person to get 3 of these tokens is the winner. And so that's basically the game in a nutshell. But there's a lot of aspects of the game. I can't tell you how important it is to draw cards. You're always going to feel like you don't have enough cards in this game, because you have to discard cards for various things to get more goblins out there, and you're always trying to draw. The level 3s usually have like super ultra powerful abilities, and some of them even have alternate victory conditions, which I haven't seen done yet. But I really like the artwork. Let's focus up a little bit more on it so you can see. I mean, the idea of goblins fighting one another, I think, is a good idea. And the card quality seems pretty well. And, like we said in the beginning, it feels like a CCG, but at the same time, you're all drawing from one deck.
The thing that I'll actually really enjoy about the game is the artwork. I like how they have different factions of goblins. Because usually when people use goblins, they're the lowest rung of the ladder. I like how they have different, almost a hierarchy of goblins within this game. It has a very similar mechanic to another game that we played recently. I believe it was called Warriors, where it's the one that I didn't like. It's called Warlords, to where they have the different tiered levels of where you can play guys into, but this system of levels is not as restrictive as the other. So I enjoyed it much better. I think the mechanic works better with this game than it did in the other one.
And one more thing I'll point out is that the different kinds of factions have They have abilities that make sense with them. Like there's the one group of dark goblins, and they have assassinate powers and powers to take out the other ones, while the mechanical goblins have weapons that they can use. Or it just seems to work together well, and never count yourself out because you seem to be doing poorly, because you might lose one battle but have enough cards in your hand to get the next one. I'm ready for war.
Well,
well, I love the idea of CCGs. I mean, I don't necessarily play them very often, but I like the idea of battling and playing cards and maneuvering around. And this game really has that feel to it. It's not complicated, but you look at your hand and sometimes you can pull out a pretty good combo. Put out this card, which lets you do this, which lets you do something else. The only negative thing I'll say about this game is that there can be moments where it feels frustrating because there's nothing you can do. You draw some cards and you can't play any of those cards, and it seems like there's not a lot you can do. And that may happen to you maybe at a really critical point in the game, and you can lose because of it.
Well, I think that that's possible, and I think it actually happened to you in the game that we played a few days ago. But I think it's less likely to happen here because you do have more options with the special abilities and everything like that. In Warlords, I think it would be more prone to happen in that game than in this game. Now, I say that probably because it happened to me and I got completely stuck, but I don't think it's as likely to happen here, but it can. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd compare these two games like that, but either way, you can be assured when you buy this game, you're getting the whole game in a box. There's no expansions or add-ons or things. So, I don't know. I'm giving this one 1.5 thumbs up. Not because I dislike it. It's a good game, but to me, it's more of a filler, something you do when you're waiting to play the big game.
Yeah, as a filler game, definitely 2 thumbs up for me. It has all the elements that I hit on. It has good-looking cards. It has nice mechanics, easy mechanics. Not a lot of thinking going